Shyam Jagannathan, Director General of Shipping, Director on the Board of IRS, Captain Dinesh Tyagi, Chairman Shipping Corporation of India, colleagues, families, ladies and gentlemen. Today as I speak, it's a momentous point of time in the life of Indian Register as it completes 50 years. At the outset, it will be only proper to talk about those who made this day possible. As always, the first name that comes to mind is of late Sir Ramaswamy Mudaliar, who envisioned and sowed the seed of an Indian classification society. An eminent lawyer, a politician, a bureaucrat who worked for the Government of India, and in the 1960s he was Chief Executive of India Steamship and also the Chairman of Indian National Shipowner Association. While attending a shipping conference somewhere, he met a lot of personalities from shipowning community, classification societies, and what actually he thought about was that all were there in shipping, and India having such a sizable presence in shipping, there was no Indian classification society. When he came back, he took up this matter with Indian National Shipowner Association, and thereafter the Government of India had full support from the then Secretaries of the Government of India, Mr. M.G. Pimpurkar, ICS, and Mr. Ramakrishna Iyer, who was then the Secretary Shipping, and their determined efforts made it possible. An Indian Register came into existence on 4th of April 1975. Then came the task of building IRS. And the names that come to mind is the first chairman of IRS, Captain Jagdish Anand. People with him were Hari Rao, Hari Taneja, Mr. Chandra, Mr. Khare, and more. Some of them sacrificed some very lucrative careers with major class societies to come on board the Indian Register, which was fraught with uncertainty. But somewhere I think they saw a spark that would ignite. It was a job of building actually brick by brick. Soon the strategic vision and hard work was paying off, and IRS became an associate member of IAX in 1991 under the then chairman, Mr. Chandrika Prasad Srivastava, who was earlier the chairman of SCI and also the Secretary General of IMO. This was a major milestone towards the qualitative recognition of IRS. Sheer dedication made IRS move forward slowly but steadily, and the goal in mind was to create a first-class quality organization. Size could come later. To get full membership of IAX. Here I must confess, the determination of J.C. Anand and Mr. S. Venkateshwaran, our legal director and a legal icon of his time, with the support from the then Secretary Shipping, Mr. Daniel Joseph, and the then DG Shipping, Ms. Kiran Dhingra, who gave a final push against very strong political headwinds from IAX, and Indian Register became a full member of IAX in June 2010. To all these luminaries, I bow in reverence and say a big thank you with all the gratitude. Without this day would not have been possible. Then followed the recognition from European Union in 2016, the US Coast Guard thereafter. Today we have recognition from 52 flag states. All major like the Bahamas, the Marshall Islands, the Panama, etc. And a very healthy mix of tonnage of 25 million tons GRT with a mix of Indian and foreign flag. And somehow in the last few years, the quantum of foreign flag is more than 50% in our international fleet. Then you will realize the litmus test of any classification is recognition by its national navy. IRS has been associated with the Indian Navy for the last 30 years. In fact, we have developed along with them the naval rules for combatant vessels, starting with classing of some of the small ships like the OPVs, etc. Today we are actually classing much more complex vessels like the ASW corvettes, the new generation missile vessels, fleet support vessels, diving support vessels, being built in various shipyards like the Garden Reach, HSL, GSL and also with Cochin Shipyard. For the first time in the history, Indian Navy has given us more than 40 of their port crafts for classing them on exactly the similar lines as you do for commercial vessels. The annual survey, the intermediate survey and the renewal survey. So the primary role of classification society has not changed since inception. Safety of life and assets at sea and on land and protection of environment. However, over the years, because of industry pressures, every class society, including us, moved also into the other areas of industry where we do certification of areas of oil and gas, power sector, building infrastructure, and we are doing that in a big way. In 1979, we formed the industrial division of IRS, and in 2014 we culled it out as an independent company which is called the ISSPL. This company has actually seen a phenomenal growth in the last few years, and in fact we are ready to list it by next 2-3 months, somewhere in April or May. That I think has just because we have had some very good people there who were able to get businesses from across besides shipping, and I think that is something which we are very proud of. Only I think about 2-3 years ago I told the CFO that industry has a much larger canvas. Shipping is shipping, it is limited to shipping. But industry has various things, including today the contracts in EPC contracts. You can just paint anywhere, you know. And one day I told him that I think we should be getting ready to list this company. And today somehow that dream has come true, and we are now listing after having appointed the right consultants and merchant bankers, that we should be listing this company. I think latest by the CFO a little concerned whether we should do it before 31st March or after 31st March. The decision is we should do it after 31st March. So the other thing that so far we are talking about basically the routine work which we all do in terms of increasing our business profiles, whether in shipping or outside it. But I think one needs to look at very clearly that what is the future being assessed as. And as I see, the future seascape is hazy, but looks challenging but interesting. Industry analysts point out that shipping has gone through 2 super cycles. The first one was in the 19th century when shipping moved from sail to steam. The second was in the 1940s, which marked the growth of containerization and bulk shipping. The current phase has been marked by emergence of complex technology and cleaner maritime transport. There will be new designs towards this, involving integration of key functional systems. Large sizes which are based on economies of scale will probably now be complying with lower emission per ton mile, and that will be the major change in the future in the ships of tomorrow. And we believe the ship sizes will start reducing to get into emission control. Dual fuel engines with much more efficient diesel engines. It is to be noted that in the next 20 years, if the maritime industry must build its cargo fleet, and if this is done with the radical technology now available, it will lead to the biggest technical transition in shipping since steam replaced sail in the 1800s. Fossil fuel, we all say fossil fuel, no good, etc., but let me tell you, whatever I have studied, fossil fuel will not be a history overnight. It will be phased out gradually, and I think this is supported by what the American president just said 48 hours ago, that he is not in a hurry to decarbonize quickly. Speed optimization will be a major design criteria, because we all know it is very basic that if you reduce speed in a linear manner, your emission reduces in an exponential manner. I think that probably would be the balancing act most of us will have to do. So new fuels we have studied, we are looking at, I think currently the fuels which are really in use and they are lower emission is biofuel, has a problem with the scalability. You got LNG, which is being used, it gives you almost 50 to 20% reduction in the GHG, but I think that's something which will probably have a longer tenure to go. Fuels such as ammonia, green hydrogen have their own disadvantages, complex manufacturing. The cost right now we are not able to indicate, but I am sure with time that will be solved out. It's very interesting. I was given some time with the Honourable Minister today afternoon, and I did touch upon the nuclear fuels. I think to me, this will be a game changer. Today, whatever we may say, that typical scare of uranium-235, some of the few disasters which have taken place in the last few years. But today, when I talk to one of the big nuclear research companies, when I say big means more experienced research companies, they believe that we must re-examine the nostalgic unease about nuclear power and open the door for smartly engineered nuclear reactors of all types and sizes to meet our energy needs. 235 is not being talked about. It is replaced by thorium-based molten sulfur reactors, which are much more safe. Sir, we know your penchant for the inland waterways. In fact, IRS has been at the forefront of supporting India's inland waterways and coastal shipping sectors, aligning with the government's vision to harness the potential of these sustainable and cost-effective transportation modes. Sir, we have done with you the drafting of IV Act, the IV rules, holistic greening of inland waterways, which includes not only green transport, but also, to us, very important is the polluting effluents in our river ecosystems. I think there we would expect your assistance to certify the plants which are actually discharging effluents into the rivers and doing all kinds of things which are really detrimental for our river ecosystem. The conclave held in Dibrugarh 2022 showcased our commitment to this vital segment. Building on this momentum we discussed today, and we are excited to contribute to the upcoming Waterways Conclave in Guwahati in 2025, partnering with Honorable Director General of Shipping. Sir, I have mentioned about the future being challenging, interesting, hazy, but I think what we really need to look at, in the words of Sarvepalli Radhakrishnan, that today, despite the challenges we face in future, there is no room for pessimism or despair, and yet there is no room for any lethargy or complacency. I would like to thank the Honourable Minister for being with us on this momentous day. He has always given IRS time to discuss matters of mutual interest. I would also like to thank Shri Shyam Jagannathan Ji, Director General of Shipping, for being with us today. Your presence is extremely important to us. And of course, Captain Vinesh Tyagi, who is not only heading a shipping company, but is heading Indian shipping. Thank you so much for being with us, sir. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.